Hi everyone, and welcome to my video for assembly row shop number 2. This is my barber shop. So right off the bat, if you're watching these videos for the first time, the background is I had an idea for an area of my city that includes several storefronts, commercial district, and I put those together inspired by the stores in the Assembly Square official Lego set. If this is the first video you're watching, I'll remind you it is number 2 of 6, so you can go ahead and check out number 1 of 6, which was my sub shop, and I'll put a link to that in the cards. But this shop here is number 2 of 6. You'll notice I'm not going to try and hide it. I mentioned in previous videos about how these stores were inspired by Assembly Square, but also this particular shop was inspired by the official Detective's Office set. Now, that barbershop in that set is a lot smaller. So I started looking at that and saying, if I want to do a barbershop, I want to expand it, but why not use that for inspiration, right? Someone else kind of already did most of the legwork. So you'll see a number of concepts from that, including this barber pole, the heads and the hair with the white minifig heads at the front to give examples of what might go on inside. One thing I'm really happy with that I changed is these scissors over the top of it. I mentioned in another video how each one of these storefronts will have something on the facade that will represent what goes on inside that shop. So obviously this one I've got the barber pole, but I've also put the scissors up there. And that's because, and I mentioned this in past videos as well, I really don't care for the way Lego lettering looks. Even at its very best, perfect example is Downtown Diner. I think that is pretty much the best that anyone is ever going to do with Lego lettering, and it still just looks a little off to me. It's a little cartoonish. Another good example, and actually this is probably the best example, is the pool hall within the Detective's Office set. I think that looks really good too. That one I may consider actually using if I ever do get around to adding the pool shop, pool hall next to part of the barber shop. I can tell you right now, I don't have a ton of plans to do that. I've got my 6 storefronts picked out. If I do a phase 2, maybe if I do a phase 2, I'll do a pool hall. Who knows? But so anyway, talked a lot about other projects, other shops. So this is the barber shop. I think this looks pretty cool. I went with the top of the exterior is the same as that same building. I was a little worried about how it would look bringing it down 2 levels so that it's on the same level as the first level. I think it looks really good. As we come around, you can see again, these all are intended to line up next to each other, similar to how a modular building would. I don't have the Technic piece with the hole in it to actually connect them, and that's because I want to have the flexibility of moving them around, having some of the backs be a little longer than what a true modular building would be, have some of the fronts be a little longer or shorter, depending on what I'm trying to do with that particular building. It still will, the project, all 6 buildings will still line up next to each other. I think it's going to look good when it's done, but I wanted to have some flexibility, especially because some of the buildings have a lot of white in them, and I didn't want all the white buildings next to each other. So we'll talk about that in the future. As we go through each one, on the back side, not much going on here. Certainly not like the sub shop. I had some vines, some ivy going up the back. This time I just did some extra windows, let a little more light in. If you recall from the Detective's Office set, there was a staircase going up through the inside here. I don't have that problem because, again, it's only 1 story. I explained why it's 1 story in the last video. Stairs are a nuisance. And here you can kind of see, again, it's the same, almost the same. It's basically just a double version of what they did in the Detective's Office. I think in the Detective's Office they had 1 mirror here, and you'll see this once you take a look at the interior. I did mine with 2. again, I thought that official Lego set looked a little too small, especially on the inside. To only have one Barber chair didn't seem like a really good idea for me, to me. So when I decided to do mine, I decided to do 2 chairs. So also I did the same concept on the top, where I've got the sunroof, if you will, allowing light in. So that's pretty much it for the exterior. I'll go ahead and take the top off. Comes off easily enough, as they all do. And let's take a look at the inside. So you can see, move my arm out of the way, a little more light in here. You can see I've got kind of a large area, right? Because the official one from the detective's office was too small and only had 1 chair. So I made, there's actually two Barber chairs. And I do have Al, the barber. You can kind of see him in a minute. He came with, so funny story, as I was building this out, or as I was designing it, I realized just how many pieces I was going to end up using from the official detective's office set. So I thought, well, maybe it's cheaper if I buy a detective's office set instead of trying to order all this on Bricklink. And I would get the VIP rewards points for it. So basically what I did was I went to my local Lego store and I bought 2 copies of Detective's Office. So like I said, if I end up doing the pool haul in the future, I will have the pieces already for that. But so here it is. I've got 2 Barber stations. They both have mirrors, and actually that was the other reason I wanted to get the official set rather than try to order from Bricklink. Those mirrors were going to be impossible to find, at least brand new. And I didn't want to take a chance that the new ones would be all scuffed up, so that's what I did. See, the lamp is a little jacked up here. Let me fix that real quick. It's annoying me. So there's that. And then across the way, I've got a little seating area with some newspapers. I thought that was something that was lacking from the detective's office build. If you remember, they had the bench out front, which, you know, okay, sure, but I think this looks a lot better. Interesting story. You may be looking at this and going, wait, why is there only one Al the Barber? Who is this other person that's cutting hair? As I was telling my barber, hi Len, what's up, how are you? As I was telling my barber about this, she was like, oh, it'd be really cool if you could get a little minifig version of me. She didn't say exactly that way, and to be honest, I had already kind of thought about that and was trying to think of a way to ask for her permission without seeming weird or creepy. So as soon as she mentioned it, I was like, oh, it's so perfect. So I'll pop that out in just a moment here. This is my barber, Len. She has glasses and short brown hair just like this. I went with standard black pants. She wears a lot of black pants. And I wasn't really sure about the torso. Couldn't really find anything that was a really good match for her, but I thought that worked out. And I sent her the picture the other day. She laughed, so I think that was a win. So anyway, that's my barber. Now you're YouTube famous, Lynn. Congratulations. My barber, who actually just got promoted to assistant manager of my barbershop. So that's pretty cool. She's having a good run. Got promoted, and she's now a Lego minifig out in cyberspace. So that's pretty much it, man. I'm really happy with the way this came out. It didn't take that long to design. Of course, it's easy, and some of you may say, oh, you cheated, taking the shortcut to just kind of following the instructions, so to speak. But you know what? In the interest of the Lego movie, sometimes you do just follow the instructions. Other times, you take the instructions and make them your own. Sometimes you make it your own from scratch. So this was building number 2. I will put this into my city next to the sub shop, and then we'll start working on number 3 and 4, which I'll have to think about that because I got to move Brickbank out of the way first if I'm going to put it where I want to put it. So, project is really coming along. I guess with this built and done, I'm officially 1/3 of the way there. 2 divided by 6 is 1/3. I like math. So check that out. Again, if you haven't already seen the sub shop that I recorded, built and recorded, go check that video out. And also keep an eye out for this in the next city tour because I will be adding it to the city. If you're new to my channel, please please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you're a returning visitor, thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time.